I saw somebody talking about vision boards, and I still remember, I still have that chart paper, like I wrote all my goals.
Wherever I go, I can see all those kind of numbers. So I started to relate that.
I want you to talk about that car incident. So, Ginny, today we are going to talk about some interesting topics which many people want to learn. Okay, little bit of motivation. Then we're going to talk about manifestations and law of attraction. Okay, so how are you feeling today?
I feel great. I feel so great to be here and to listen to your words and to know more about your motivational journey and about the law of attraction.
Because I very well know, like when I met you, you were really fascinated with the word manifestation, right?
Indeed.
So today, in fact, in the coming podcast sessions, like we will be talking more detail about that. Like you asked me about, you wanted to know about my journey, right?
Yes.
Now, it all started with a bad episode, I must say, a challenge. But now, yes, it has turned out to be the most inspirational journey ever for me. I mean, whenever I talk about this episode of my life, I feel really grateful sometimes to God that I did go through that. That was when I lost my first baby when I was 9 months pregnant. Now, that time, it was pretty traumatic. It was like, I was getting nearer to my delivery and everything was like pretty fascinating and exciting. But then, yes, we came to know that we lost him. And yes, I took some time to recover from that. And it was not very easy. But after 2 to 3 months, I realized the fact that no, this is not happening. I can't be just confined sitting into a room space and thinking about it. So then I thought, okay, fine. Let me just slowly get out of it. Let me start facing the world. And you know how it is, the society, like they'll bombard you with questions.
Yeah.
How it happened, and like, didn't you realize that? Wasn't the baby moving, and so on. So yes, I did face all that. Me and my husband.
How did you overcome it? Like all these kind of questions, or how did you overcome this traumatic situation?
Yeah, it was absolutely not easy. It was like very difficult for me me and my family. But then what really, like we say, there's a turning point in life, which makes your entire story change to a different journey altogether. That was when, when I was like little depressed, I wrote a poetry, okay, about my lost son.
Okay.
Just jotted down few lines, and I sent it to a particular online magazine, and it got published. So I was like very excited. And yes, I'll be showing that, towards the end of this podcast. What did I write about him? But, the best part about that poetry was it got straight into many hearts. I started getting a lot of feedbacks about the poem. And to my surprise, I realized that there were so many more people suffering much worse things than me. They had overcome more tragic situations. Okay. So then there was a big turn. I started to motivate those people. And then slowly, I started loving, that motivational journey which I was going through. Yeah, so that is how I started. I stepped into the world of motivation, and I knew that a particular tragic scene in your life, or rather, let's call it as a challenge, it can just become your biggest inspiration ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, how did you get into like inspiring people? How did you get into it, or how did you start?
Basically, this is the episode which made me, get into that track altogether. Okay. So, what I believe, Ginny, is the more you focus on something, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, right? I think
It does.
when we met that day, we
Yes.
did talk about that.
Yes.
So, instead of focusing more on that situation as a problem, try to focus, about the goodness of what it's going to teach you, what's the lesson, all that. Okay, so that's exactly what I started following in my life. Okay, I've had huge number of challenges in my life. Though probably, like people might think that, she's forever smiling, so everything is going fine. But no,
Do you want to
it's not.
describe any kind of challenge that you face, at least one?
This was, this
Yeah,
was
this
the
is-
biggest
yes.
challenge. And then, yes, there were many. Like if I were to say, probably, I'm sure we all can get connected to backstabs of friends, yeah? Right? A very, very interesting, topic to be talked. I'm sure, the moment I say that, okay, fine, there's a backstab happening, and we all are like, yes, so true, very relatable. Friends, okay? So I'm a person basically who trusts people very fast. Not now, but then, I used to. So yeah, that I think that is one of the biggest challenges. You start learning a lot about people when you have such backstabs. So that is something very positive. Start taking it that way. Like I always believe that every challenge you face will help you to discover that you get stronger day by day.
Okay.
Okay, so now Ginny was asking me about my inspirational story. I want you to say something about how your journey went through and what got you to me and, about all that.
Okay. JJ, I would like to recall the same in traumatic experience that you went through, because even I have gone through the same, because I also lost my first baby when I was carrying 3 months. We lost the baby. So I've gone through the same. It took me around 6 months to recover from that experience. Then I was having a very normal life. I did not have, I never believed in, myself, to be honest, having sort of talents and all those things. So then I was continuing, I'm a techie, so I was continuing my work, going on through that journey. And then in between, so many things happened. Like I moved from India to Dubai. Even then, I was having a normal life. And then, as a blessing, and that was also very unexpected, I got a baby girl. So the life was moving on. And to be precise, it's been only 2 years since I came into this journey, the manifestation journey, or the law of attraction journey. I got to learn more about it. I started to read, I started to watch videos, but still I don't have that feeling of inspiring people. Maybe one day I will get into that journey as well.
Yeah, I still remember you coming and asking me, Chechi, what is this manifestation all about, right?
Indeed, yes.
So, yeah,
because I was collecting bits and pieces from there. I wanted a coach to guide me properly to that path, because I know that because I'm getting aligned to that journey and I need a guidance. And that's why I was right in front of you and I asked you a question. Can you guide me through that?
No, because that particular question just, it was very exciting at that moment, because I remember you coming and asking me in church. I think that was the best place to start everything together.
Yes.
Yeah, so, Ginny, for me, I don't know, a manifestation has different kind of definition. It depends on the person as well. We all know that it is to create something. But for me, I believe that, okay, it's not just something like magic. People think like that, right?
Yeah.
People think that, okay, you just think about it and it just happens. No, it's not like that. It's like you need to work, and it's more like you align to your purpose.
Yes.
Okay. It is aligning yourself with your purpose. Now that line sounds very simple, but it's not simple.
Yes.
You need to have peace of mind. You need to be calm for you to sit in a line, to your purpose. Find out what's your goal.
Yes.
Okay. So there are a lot of things, when you plunge into the word manifestation, you have different methods. You have different ways of doing it. Now that one of the common ways is your favorite, journaling.
Yes.
Okay, my favorite as well. I still remember, I just bumped into this word when I was watching a YouTube channel, and suddenly I was like, okay, what is this manifestation? So then I saw somebody talking about vision boards, and I still remember, I still have that chart paper where I made a big chart paper, and I wrote all my goals. And the person told me, in the video it was said that, okay, you make the vision board and you forget about it. And to be very honest, it's still lying under my bed. I forgot about it.
Oh, okay.
But I would say that, when you make something like that, keep seeing it. Okay? Think about it. So that's when I jumped into journaling. Okay? Now, I love writing. I just love using the pen, paper. I am not a person who would just love typing, but I love writing. So the moment you start writing, you are putting your thoughts into paper, and, the energy is getting, I believe that it becomes more magical when you start writing. Okay? I started writing all my goals. Like, to start with 3 goals. That's the most important thing. You need to know what you want. You cannot randomly have so many things in mind and, just keep jotting it down. But I think you need to know at least 1 or 2 things what you really want in life.
So basically, you need to be really focused on what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You, more than being focused, you need to first understand what you need.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in my childhood, I was a person who never used to talk much. I know people find me as a big blabbermouth now, but
this came as a total surprise for me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
if my
really?
school teachers or my friends
Yes.
would see me,
Yeah.
they would not even believe that this is me.
Oh.
Because I never used to talk in class. I used to, my academics were going good by God's grace. Yeah, everything was going fine. But extracurricular activities, I used to be in the choir, like probably somewhere back in the chorus. Okay. So that also many people cannot believe. But still, yeah, that's how it was. So I was a person who was very shy. But in my mind, there was one dream. That is, I wanted to be famous.
Okay.
Now, I remember, one of my teachers asking me, okay, Shiny, what do you want to do in life? I didn't have anything else. I didn't want to be a doctor. I didn't want to be an engineer or, anything of that sort. I just said, I want to be famous.
Oh.
Now, the entire class started to laugh. Why? Because I never even opened my mouth to talk or, but somewhere, Ginny, in my mind, it was there. That, okay, fine. When I talk, the moment I start talking, I would want somebody to listen to me. That was something which I used to dream about. So when I started journaling, that's exactly, if you look at my first journal, that is pretty vague, that line, I want to be famous.
Okay, I have a question for you. Like, when you say like you wanted to become famous, did you have any sort of idea that you want to do this, you want to do that, or like any particular field that you want to excel?
Absolutely nothing. It was very vague. Okay. I just, always had this thought in my mind that I am speaking and there's some people to listen to it.
Oh, okay.
There's a crowd listening to it.
Okay.
That's the only wish. I mean, like they say, right? Visualize. I mean, that's the later steps. But you visualize what you want. That always used to come to my mind.
Okay.
Because I was so look at the irony of that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I was a person in class who never spoke, but I had a dream like, okay, fine. I want people to, there'll be a crowd listening to me. Now, slowly, what happened? If you now look at me. Yes, there are, people wanting to talk to me. Okay. So now that's exactly
I'm one among them.
That's exactly the beauty of manifestation. Every day we manifest something or the other, unknowingly. Okay.
Yes.
Unknowingly.
Yes.
And that's the truth about it. Okay. So I don't want to get into the details now because, it's like I would want to go step by step in the coming sessions. But to wind up, or to put into a conclusion, I would want you to tell me, like, I remember that question, you coming and telling me that, Chichi, I see these magic numbers. Okay. And I was really fascinated because I very rarely see them. And you're like, I often see this. So tell me something about that.
It's been like 1.5 years since I started to see the magical numbers or the angel numbers. So then I got to research more about the angel numbers. But
yeah,
as I
basically
said,
it's called as
yeah,
the angel number, but
numbers.
I would say it's magical numbers. Yeah.
So for me, it's all about Instagram or reading some sort of books to get into these kind of ideas. But as I told you, I did not have a proper guide to guide me what exactly is this numbers that I see. I see like 111, 111, 1212, 1010, or all these kind of angel numbers. But I didn't know how to put that into my life, or like what is the exact meaning, or to guide me. I didn't have any sort of person. It was all like Instagram or YouTube shorts or like any books or any sort of things. But I started to focus, or I started to see more of that number plates, the time. Wherever I go, I can see all those kind of numbers. So I started to relate that. And I think 1 or 2 things have come into my life in this.
I
2
want you to
years.
talk about that car incident. I want you to talk about that car incident.
Okay,
because that is
so I come from a professional background, Chichi. I'm a computer engineer. So like last 2 years, I was really struggling with a job change. Though I was part of an MNC company, I really wanted to have a job change because of certain professional issues. So that happened to me. And to my surprise, not to my surprise, like I started to write about the things that I wanted, and I told it and I gave it to the universe. And that happened. And when that change happened, I used to see that numbers often, very often. And that job change happened.
Okay.
And that's
So
my
when
experience.
you say that, okay, you saw these numbers, like where all did you see them? Like, so that if the viewers, they're listening, they can also relate to such incidences. Like,
Especially with the time,
Yeah.
like in the laptop or in my smartwatch, and then number plates, and then maybe some room numbers.
okay.
I often see 111, and wherever I pass through, I
You
can
just
see
get
like
hold of it,
I started seeing that numbers often. Yeah.
I wanted to say about that car. You remember telling me that you just felt like the car is going to bang, the car is going to
Oh
bang.
yeah. You
That
know,
is
like
interesting.
though we have a lot many positive thoughts, I think negative thoughts also would come in our mind,
Correct.
right? So so I drive. So whenever I drive, I always have a feeling that something or the other is gonna hit me from the back, and that happened twice.
Okay.
So I always had that feeling. Thank God, nothing happened major. But I had 2 incidents where 2 cars hit me from the back.
Finally, you got the treat.
Yes.
Okay, finally you got the
Indeed,
treat.
yes.
So, okay, when this happened, what came into your mind? Like, did you think that is it because you were expecting something like that and it just came?
No.
Then,
The first thought that came into my mind was like, God, I am the reason for this. I was thinking about this incident that something is going to hit me. So whatever I think is getting happened. So that was the first thought.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's now the talk is becoming more interesting, right? So we've just realized that whatever we think,
Yes.
it just forms into a reality. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Anything else? Anything else pretty special in your life, like which happened?
Okay. I'm a normal person, but I always dream high. So since I'm a techie, I always wanted to work in all the big MNCs. So I used to live in Hyderabad. So I always wanted to be in the company called Deloitte. and Amazon when I was in Hyderabad. And I was always dreaming about it. I want to work in these two firms no matter what. But I was working in another MNC at that time. And then I moved to Dubai. And I don't know how it happened. I got into both of these companies. I worked in Deloitte and Amazon in Dubai. Can you believe it?
I
I'm
can.
like,
Because I've experienced such things. Yeah.
I'm like, how did it happen? I mean, to get into a company like Amazon in Dubai, and that too during the pandemic, it came as a silver lining for me during that time. In 2020, it happened. And I'm like, what is happening? I mean, like, how did it happen? How did I get the interview? How did I pass the interview? I'm like totally surprised.
Okay, another
Yeah.
question, like, have you ever come across some incident like, okay, for example, like this is something similar to what you just said. You have a favorite car, okay? Probably, let's say, a Merc or a Range Rover, okay? You're thinking about it like you want to get it, and often you see the same brand everywhere on the road.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Yes.
I've experienced that.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, initially I didn't know that. But then every time, like whenever I used to go, I used to just see the same brand. I'm like, okay, the whole world is driving this over.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I don't want to talk about that either now because it's like a very interesting topic. Okay. I'm sure, like even the viewers can relate to what I'm saying. Like the more you focus on something, the bigger it gets. Okay. That's exactly the thought. Like you focus more on your fear of getting hit by the car, and finally what happened? You got hit by the car, right? So the crux is the more you focus on something, whether it's a fear or it's something positive, it gets bigger and bigger, right? Then, Ginny, one other thing is, okay, now we did discuss about how to journal, okay?
Yes.
And how have you planned? Okay, now for me, when I say journaling, it is like I have a lot of affirmations written, okay, in the first page of the book. Now, are you also a person who follows affirmations? And do you believe in such things?
Yes.
I do. I do quite a lot. I don't know if I'm a believer of robotic affirmations, but yes, I do. I do love writing a lot of affirmations and starting the day. If you see my mirror, like you can see many, many stickers on it. Okay. Now, when I talk about the mirror, another interesting thing is the mirror technique. Okay. Okay. First, you tell me, like, okay, how have you managed your journal? Like, what's your first page? What have you written there? I mean, in a gist. So that if somebody wants to maintain a journal, it can be an idea for them.
Okay. It's been only like very short time since I started journaling, and you are my guru.
Guru is such a big name. I've not reached
you're
there.
my guide.
Not reached there.
Yeah, I reached out to you for Chechi, how to start journaling, and you really literally guided me through.
And I love
how
that.
yeah.
I love guiding people.
Thank
like
you.
that's something
Thank
like,
you.
yeah, like, basically, Ginny, the best part is like, you feel more wonderful guiding somebody when they're all listening to you. Okay, some people don't want to listen. Some people, because I'm basically a person who's very impatient. But after I got into this, learning about manifestation and law of attraction, I understood how important it is to be calm. Though I'm just, still, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. But the more you get calm, the more easier it is for you to get aligned to your purpose. Does that make sense? You know? That's exactly what we all need to do. Okay? So, yeah. Over to your journal.
Me, since I started just now, I wrote down like what exactly I need. I mean, the goals I need for like 1 year or 2 years, what I want to accomplish, what I need to improve. So I wrote it down in a paper first, that like a bullet method or like a star method.
Just
note down what all goals I need. And then in the first page of my journal book, I wrote down, like I was like precise, like about what all are the things that I need, what are things I need to focus, about what I want to achieve. So I wrote it down. And then from the next page, I started like how I feel about that particular point or about the goal, how I feel it. So I started like as a ritual, like I used to, I follow that like morning and night. I write about what I feel about that goal. So that's how I started.
Yeah, so you just said it. Feeling is the secret, right?
See,
I just,
all this
yeah, I
comes
wanted-
as like surprise. Like, see, I when I said like the word feeling, I was not thinking about it.
Exactly.
But you catched
Exactly. I wanted to say that at the end,
Yeah.
because many of us randomly just write in the journal, right?
it. Because I always had a doubt. Is diary writing and journaling are the same?
I remember the question
even
you asked
even
me,
I
yeah.
asked you like, how does it differ? Like, I have seen people writing diary on a day-to-day basis. Like, what all happened in
What all
their life?
happened, yeah.
Yes. So I always had a doubt. Like, is diary and journaling the same? I even asked the question.
I think the manifestation, a journal, when you're relating it to manifestation, like it is more to getting into the beauty of feeling that goal, okay, accomplished. Okay, now it's not easy. Like when I say, okay, I want a particular brand of car, like I just feel, they say, right, okay, you just feel that you're sitting in the car, you're driving. Like it's exactly like what I thought in, the classrooms. Like, okay, though I'm shy, it's fine. But then, like there are people listening to me. So I'm visualizing that. Okay, I'm feeling that. I feel good to talk to people. Okay, so slowly that becomes, I'm always repetitively thinking about it, feeling it. Okay, now you told me that, you call me a guru. Actually, the gurus of law of attraction, manifestation, we'll be talking about them in the next episode.
Exactly.
So this episode, we have just touched few points here and there, right?
Yes.
So we have not really talked about it. So in the coming episodes, we will be literally talking in detail about this, because this topic is beautiful. And like, I would just want to tell to the viewers that law of attraction, manifestation, these things are not it's not like you just think about it and magic happens.
Yeah.
It is efforts as well. Efforts to stay calm. Okay, now that's something which in this busy life we cannot be calm. So that is the effort what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about like, of course, hard work. We have to put in efforts like that. Obviously, life is not that magical as well. But staying calm, getting aligned with the purpose, that's very important. So yeah, so in the coming episodes, we will be training ourselves for that as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say a bye-bye to our beautiful viewers who are listening to us. And this being our first podcast experience, I think we have done a good job.
Indeed.
Indeed, yes. So, ta-da, bye-bye.